Hello everybody and welcome to the start of a new reading blog. So this week is going to be all about romances. So I am in the middle of three really good romances right now. So I'm in the middle of Picture Perfect by Tessa Bailey. And I am loving this book. It's so funny. So this one is kind of following her sports romance series. And in this one, a pitcher, softball, like a female softball pitcher is kind of like doing well, but her family is like ultra competitive, and they're having like something called the stakes games, which is just like a competition, and she needs a partner because her partner pull out last minute. And meanwhile, and she's also in love with her brother's best friend and wants to make him jealous. Meanwhile, she meets a guy at a baseball game that's one of the hockey players from the previous book. And she's like, okay, like you're kind of dumb, you're kind of like a ladies' man, but I need a partner. You partner up with me and help me make this guy jealous. And the guy is like super in love with her from the first moment. So he's like, yeah, I'm down to spend a week with you. And then they just had this like incredible dynamic because at the same time he's trying to teach her how to be like flirty and attract man because she's trying to help her get this guy. But of course they fall in love with each other in the process, and it's so much fun, especially because it has summery vibes because of the setting. It's like almost like a competition, like summer family competition. And then yeah, I think it's very funny too and very endearing, and you see a lot of the characters from the previous. I definitely think that as more of the books come out of the series, you definitely get more enjoyment from them if you've read the previous books. I've read most of the previous books. I missed one, The Au Pair Affair. That one I didn't read because I'd never really liked the single dad trope. But now I actually read the Strawberry Patch Pancake House or something like that, and I love the single dad in that book. So I might be in my single dad era. So yeah. Already finished, but I did want to do a little unboxing with you. So I'm in a book club for all of Jane Austen's books. This year we are reading, it just started this year, so we're reading Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, and Mansfield Park. We already read Pride and Prejudice last month. This month is Sense and Sensibility. So I've never read this book before actually. And yesterday I saw the movie for the first time and it was so good. I already finished this book because I was obsessed with it. I basically started reading it and finished it in like 2 days. So this one follows, what are their names actually? I always am terrible with names. Well, it follows two sisters. One is young, no, it's actually three sisters, but you're really just following the older two. One is like, the younger one is very like in love and loves, very dramatic and wants like to fall in love very lusciously. And the other sister is very pragmatic. She's very serious, but she knows what she wants. And a lot of people think that she's going to be a spinster just because she's not very flirty. But they meet several men across the time. Like you with Jane Austen, you never know because you get introduced to like 4 or 5 male characters, so you never know who's endgame, which I absolutely love because obviously a lot of books right now, like just modern era books, you kind of like know the end game right away. So with this one, I was like wondering who are they gonna end up with the whole time, especially because I had no historical context for this. For Pride and Prejudice, I've seen the movies, I like knew what was gonna happen. This one, I had no idea, and it actually has such a good, like 3/4 of the way twist. I was like shocked. I was like gasping. I was like, what the hell? How did this happen? Oh my god. And it was so good. And it has 4 or 5 romantic love interests, but then like the ones that they end up with is very satisfying, and the movie just made it so much better. I watched the one that had Hugh Grant and the girl from the Titanic, and it just has such good British actors. I absolutely loved it and recommend it. And yeah, this is a 5 out of 5 book. 55555. It's so good. I loved it. I don't want to spoil it because it's kind of hard to know what people already know, and I want people to go in blind. And because I'm part of this book club, you have to get like the book box. So this one is a little bookmark that came with it. And then I have a little mug, I think. Let me open it with you. Oh, it's a little cup. I actually really like this. This will be like the perfect one to be with me in my bedside table. So I still have plenty of Jane Austen books to read. I am very excited for it, and yeah. Book that I'm in the middle of those is an ornithologist's guide to finding love, I think. So this one right here. So this one got put in my radar because Books and Lala really loved it this year, and I like her a lot. I like her video style, so I decided to read it. I'm about 50% in, and right now it's about two ornithologists, which if you don't know, ornithology is the study of birds. I didn't know that either. I don't even know if that's actually what it is in the real world, because this is a fantasy world. The fantasy world, you basically have the birds are all magical creatures, and everything else is kind of set in like 1700 to 1800s, like London kind of vibes. Like you're definitely like the places are the same, the technology is kind of like the same, like women are very prim and proper. They're not, but again, like it's kind of like a fantasy world because they're not like as scandalized by like kissing and touching as 1700s London probably would have been, or 1800s. I actually don't know when this would be set. So yeah, I really am enjoying it. They start as rivals, so they're both competing in this competition to become the ornithologist of the year, and that one comes with tenure and a big prize. So obviously they want to get it because they're both professors, and because they're very attractive people, the competition hosts kind of like want them to be like put together in situations because it makes for really good press for the competition. So there's some outside influences putting them together in awkward situations, which I think is such a fun dynamic, because then a lot of times you're reading a book and it's like kind of unrealistic, like why is there only one bed? Like that is so stupid. There would be more beds in this inn. And like, oh, like why are they always going in the same direction? Why are they not following different leads? But this one, like that background makes it so much more like funny, because you don't have to be like putting your critical thinking hat on. And yeah, so Chef's Kiss, like, but I am thinking it's a little long. I am getting about like 50% like down. I'm like, okay, you guys are already kind of like in love with each other. Let's wrap this up. So yeah, those are my 3 books that I'm gonna finish today. Or not today, honestly. I'm gonna finish them over the weekend, and I'll take you with me. The rest of the plans for the day, I'm getting my hair done. That's why my hair looks a little crazy. It's probably gonna be blonder next time you see me. I'm gonna be I'm buying a new plant. All my plants are doing so well. I think I introduced a new plant to my little plant party I have going on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye. Hello everybody, and I don't know why the hell I'm filming. I have not done anything new. I just wanted to tell you that I got my hair done. It looks the same, and I don't know why I always get so bummed out after the hairdresser, because I always imagine that I'm gonna go out there and look completely different from what I usually look like, and I look to myself, and I might have a little bit of I can't tell little changes with myself a lot of the time. I really struggle with that. I can tell it in other people, but with myself it seems to be like a little blind to it. Like if I lose a little bit of weight, or like if my hair changes color slightly, or like my skin gets clear, suddenly I am blind. I cannot tell what I look like a lot of the time. So yeah, my hair, maybe you can tell it's blonder a little. It has some highlights in some places. I just think my hair just looks very nice when it has some dimension to it and it's just not one color. The thing that upsets me is that coloring your hair in the United States is so expensive. So if I'm gonna pay that much, I kind of want to look completely different. I want to be transformed into Megan Fox, basically. And I know that's not a good expectation to have because that's impossible standards to achieve. And I'm trying to be happy. But I am the type of person that, yes, every time I went to the hairdresser when I was little, I cried. I was always unhappy. I always took they put my hair up in a pretty thing. Like, I would take it out the moment I could. I would wash my hair. I was the most frustrating child to deal with in my life. And I'm sorry, Mom. I put you through a lot. And now I'm getting used to it. I'm starting to like it. One of my goals last year was to, like, be more in tune with what looks good on myself. And I do think, like, doing my hair really helps me because then I feel better. But I'm still working on it. I'm still working on being happy. I'm still working on the hairdresser being a safe space for me and a place I feel happy and comfortable. And my hairdresser, Jason, does such an amazing job. I get complimented on my hair all the time. I get complimented on my hair like basically every week or so, which makes me feel really good about myself. So yeah, I don't know. I feel the same. And at the same time, I know that there's a difference. And that's the only thing I did today. I'm picking up ramen right now, and I'm in a parking lot because my husband will not tell me what he wants, and I'm waiting for him to make up his mind. So yeah, that's all that has happened so far. Hello, so welcome to the cooking intermission. So today we're making a banoffee toffee pie from the book More is More. So here you can see me making a caramel. This one's a miso caramel, and then I made some bread crumble. So I'm getting some graham crackers and butter and just like mixing it all together, making sure it gets crispy, using malt chocolate instead of milk chocolate, which is what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to use malted milk. So here I'm whipping some cream and I'm adding some salt and some more melted chocolate. Again, the recipe says melted milk. I just kind of messed up, but it tasted super good anyways. Bananas and chocolate is always a good combination. What I found interesting about this is that when you whip your cream, you're adding some Greek yogurt to it, and it just makes it like has a little more tang and a little bit more complexity. This whole dessert is not as sweet. So here I'm assembling it, so putting some of the caramel down at the bottom, adding the bananas, and then putting more of the whipped cream on top, making nice even layers as much as possible. Some more of the crumble. Panda came to visit. Halfway through, I realized that caramel would be probably better piped, so that's what I did. The caramel came out super smooth. Another layer of bananas, and then I finished it off with more of the whipped cream on top. And the recipe called for 5 bananas. I only had 3, so that's why the last layer is not as thick. So this is the final result. It ended up being super yummy. A little bit on the salty side for a dessert though. I definitely feel like if I were to do it, I will add less salt than the recipe recommends in the future. Okay, hello everybody and welcome to the end of this reading vlog. So I am sitting by my windowsill because this is supposed to be where the best lighting in my house is. I disagree because now you can see every single imperfection in my skin. So yeah, I finished both books last night. So I finished Picture Perfect and I liked that book, but I was a little just like meh about it at the end just because it kept being very, very long. But what I preferred the best was the dynamics between Robbie, which is the male main character, and the girl's family. I think it was a very good fun dynamic, especially because they're all kind of stuck together in this like competition camp situation where they are doing the state games. And because of that, they have a lot of very intimate moments between Robbie and the dad and the brother. My favorite quote is like the brother talking to Robbie about like Robbie is unsure whether or not she likes her, and the brother is telling him that she does. And he says, "My sister crawled into a dugout. She doesn't put aside her pride for anybody. Just is even more sparing." He waved his empty glass of Robbie's direction. "She gave you both. Happy now?" So I think the fact that like the brother is kind of like reluctantly helping him out is one of like so funny to me. And I love how the male main character got to interact with her family, and it's just very family friendly, and family dynamics are very fun in this book. And then they meet each other's parents, which I think is just one of the things that I don't see a lot in books that I actually really, really love. I like expanding like the world where you meet family, you meet friends, and all that stuff. And yeah, that is a book that I kind of liked. I gave it 3 stars to 4 stars. I loved the beginning and it did make me cry, but I don't know. I find books that are romances to be so hard when they're long, because I am very much like, I love like the first interaction, the first connection. I like the flirting, and once they have an inkling that they're gonna be together, I don't care anymore. I'm like, okay, checked out. I don't care about your third hour breakup. I don't care about the fight that you're gonna get into later on. I'm like checked out. So yeah, that is that book. And then the other one is The Ornithologist's Guide to Love. That one was very, very fun. Again, like another thing, it just got a little old. I was reading it and it was like, hijinks, shenanigans, there's a bird, the bird attacks them, they have to run, they get in the train, they go to a new location, bird attacks them, they have to run, there's a person, they try to shoot them, they attack them, they run. It's just like a lot of like same thing happening over and over again. And they do a big declaration of love, which is very fun. And if the end of it is just very cinematic. The whole book is very cinematic, which makes it really fun. But that's why it's like a 3 star. I didn't get any big feels out of this one. And I think because it's a Victorian romance, I was just very in tune with them being inappropriate for a Victorian era. Like, they were kissing in public, they were holding hands, there was a lot of PDA, and I'm like, this would not fly. Like, your reputation would be ruined, girl. What are you doing? She's supposed to be this very serious professor, and she has like no regards for how other people are perceiving her reputation, which kind of annoyed me, just because I know that in this point in time this would have not flown, even though it is kind of like a romantasy. But yeah, those are my own personal problems for these books. I gave both of them 3 stars, and yeah, that's the end of this vlog. Tonight I'm gonna go to a baseball game, but I think we're gonna capture that in next week's vlog.